Hey, good afternoon. How is everybody doing out there in MVT Live Land? This is Devin Nakoba. I am your host, and today, very special edition of MVT Live because we have our mayoral candidates here. We have Keith AMEMIYA and Rick Blangiardi, and because it's kind of a little bit close to election time, we're going to get them on as quickly as we can. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Mr. Keith AMEMIYA. How's it, Keith?
Hey Devin, how's it going?
Good to talk to you. And of course, see, this is how busy he is. We're actually talking to him while he's going from place to place. So, Keith, thank you so much for taking the time for doing this. Appreciate it.
Sure, my pleasure.
Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit different from the other two that I talked to you about because this is more about performance. I kind of wanted to get from you, and I know our audience does. Like, what is your background with performance? Have you seen shows? I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Sure, I enjoy seeing shows. My wife and I go to them from time to time, whether it's locally produced shows or shows on Broadway. We've been to shows like The Producers and Jersey Boys, and we really enjoy it. And it's a vital part of our arts and cultural scene. It's important for people, whether as performers or as entertainment. So, I'm a big supporter of the arts and entertainment and support, of course, Manoa Valley Theater as well.
Right. Yeah, well, thank you for that. And Manoa Valley Theater, Diamond Head Theater, we've all had to kind of close our doors, pivot a little bit to doing some new things to try to keep the doors open. Do you foresee anything being put in place when you become the mayor to try to help that along in this COVID time that we're under?
Yes, of course. We'd like to reopen those venues that you've mentioned and get the performing arts scene back up and running. But, well, we have to also keep in mind that we need to keep the community safe. We need to consult with healthcare professionals and the like and make sure that it's safe to do so, because the last thing we want is another shutdown of our economy and everything else, because businesses are suffering. Of course, the arts and theater scene is suffering, but it would take us many steps further back if we reopen quickly and then have to shut down quickly again. So, I'm hoping to reopen and look at options like the movie theaters and maybe open Manoa Valley Theater and Diamond Head Theater, at less than 100% capacity, and see if that is, it's better than nothing. It's not ideal, but at least it's something. Or maybe look at outdoor venues, whether it's the Waikiki Shell, uh, Aloha Stadium, or other opportunities where it's safer to be in an outdoor venue.
Hmm.
And I know Diamond Head Theater and Manoa Valley Theater, you've had live stream shows that you've shown, and you've also, I think, have had, or are considering having shows live stream as well with live performing artists. And so, anything like those are better than nothing. And whatever the city can do to help, I will do so.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We have those CARES Act funds that are undistributed for right now, and look
Mhm.
like they're going to get returned to Washington, D.C. I mean, do you think, I mean, once you hit the ground, if you hit the ground running, is there any way to utilize some of that funds?
Yes, I mean, the deadline, as you know, is December 31st. We have to get that money out there before then. We're risk losing
Mhm.
that money and having to return it. There is a possibility of extending the deadline to distribute the money, but we need to get it out there and get it in the hands of organizations like Manoa Valley Theater much sooner. I know there's
Mm.
limits on how much is supposed to be allocated to organizations like Manoa Valley Theater, but let's get that money out sooner, and if necessary, to fully expend it by December 31st, increase the amounts that are eligible to be distributed to Manoa Valley Theater.
Mm. Okay. Um, Now, also wanted to kind of know, in your own words, how do you feel that the arts are a vital part of having a well-rounded child or well-rounded education?
It's very important. Of course, academics is important, but my background has been throughout my career working with youth, and I know firsthand the value of sports in particular to a well-rounded person and the physical activity and whatnot. But every child is different. Everything. It's the full package. You need the physical stimulation and exercise, but you also need the mental and emotional side as well. And arts is an important part of a whole being of a well-rounded child. You need it all. There's just no one area that you need to focus on. And unfortunately, as I'm sure you know,
Well, this is what we were worried about. With the advent of technology, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there. And he's actually traveling in a car.
yeah.
Oh, there he
Okay.
is. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, arts is an important part of a well-rounded child and a well-rounded education. And uh, I would look to make sure that we don't cut those types of funding for arts that has been happening. It's usually the first thing on the chopping block, it seems,
Yeah.
when it comes to public school education in particular. And that's not a good idea, in my opinion.
Okay. Also, because this is MVT Live, we have to ask the question. Do you have a favorite Broadway show? Do you have a favorite show?
Well, I like the ones I saw, the producers and Jersey Boys, but I want to see Hamilton. But well, we can't travel, and it costs an arm and a leg. So but I heard I've yet to watch it on Disney. I believe it's
Disney
available
Plus, yes.
on Disney Plus, and because I've been busy with the campaign, I haven't had a chance to watch it. People say it's amazing, so I do want to see it. So maybe on November 4th or afterwards, after the November 3rd election, I'll have a chance to sit down and watch it.
There you go. That's good. And speaking of the election, we want to make sure that we give you an opportunity to talk about your campaign, to talk about what you feel is your strength that you're going to be bringing to the mayoral seat if you do get elected.
Well, I've been born and raised here, lived here my entire life. Oahu's my home. I care about it. I want to create a better future for everyone, including our younger generations. I'm an attorney by trade. I have executive leadership background in many areas, public, private, and nonprofit sector. And I have experience, working with government from the outside and the inside. And I think that's important as a mayor to be able to hit the ground running. I've also been involved in working with the communities directly for my entire career, and that's important as well. I know the issues that they face. I know the people that are important in each community to consult with and talk to in terms of solving those problems. Being the mayor is um, largely working with communities and trying to solve their issues, and that's something I've done in my entire career. Public service is an important part of my career, and I'd like to continue that as the mayor of Honolulu.
Okay, thank you very much. Keith, if there's anything else you'd like to add in closing, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, no, other than I support Manoa Valley Theater. I'll do what I can to make sure that venues like Manoa Valley Theater and Diamond Head Theater can open sooner than later. I'm a huge supporter and fan of the arts, and the community. Oops.
Oh,
Oh boy, thank you.
okay. No,
Thank you
it's
for the
okay.
opportunity. I appreciate the support, and I humbly ask your viewers and listeners for their support in this election. If they haven't turned in their ballot, please do so. You have till November 3rd at 7 p.m. at either of the two voting centers, Honolulu Hale or Kapolei Hale, or any of the ballot drop boxes located across the island. But thank you, Devin, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, Keith, thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it. Good luck to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith AMEMIYA.
Thank you.
All right. So we had Keith in here, and now we got to get our next guest, Mr. Rick Blangiardi. Hello, Rick. Okay, we got to get his mic on, and then and the picture too, because of course everything was working fine before we started, and now that we actually have him, nothing's working. But it's okay. Hey, wait, is he there?
Yep,
Oh,
right now.
well, his son is there.
giving you something right now.
I think we surprised them a little bit. Sorry, you guys. Appreciate it.
Over there. 1 second.
No worries. No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Blangiardi will be joining us momentarily. And by the way, don't forget that scroll that's going on down below there. Please donate 988-6131. ManoaValleyTheater.com. Make sure you get yourself involved. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Blangiardi. Hello, Rick.
Hey, good to see you. Who's on the call? How many people do we have on the call? Who's on the call?
You know, honestly, I don't know. They don't tell me, because if I know, then I get nervous. This way, it just seems like it's me and you talking story, and then we're just cruising.
Oh, okay. All right. My first. How come we only have 10 minutes? What's the matter?
Well, because
gave Keith an hour, and you're giving me 10 minutes. Friday afternoon. I mean, God, that hurts.
Well, we also know this is the final one of these that you're going to have to do. So we're trying to make it as painless for you as possible.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I shouldn't be fooling around, but for some reason, I have a real sense of kinship with Manoa Valley Theater, and just the community theaters, and just the whole thing up in Manoa, and all the time I spent up there in my life. So anyway.
Well, that's great. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Live theaters, Manoa Valley Theater, Diamond Head, Kumakahua, they've all had to kind of pivot because of what's been happening with COVID. So doors are closed. I mean, right now, everybody's dark. So just wondering, what your experience is, and for like the mayor, what you'd like to do.
Well, to an extent, but I'll tell you, we made a decision to use Hawaii Theater for election night. We're going to use that. We're going to have 100 people in there. We're going to do a Zoom thing out there. We're going to do a little bit of hopefully a celebration, and we've got some really nice Hawaiian acts coming in, and Robert Casimiro and Henry coming in, and a couple of halals, and just some people and guests. That way we could have. See, I couldn't do that at our campaign headquarters, and I did the primary out of my kitchen. But I thought, honestly, I'm talking to Greg Dunn. I mean, the same thing, right? I mean, they desperately need some business, and so I thought, well, here's like a twofer. We give the theater some business, and at the same time, we can do something a little bit larger than. Mostly because I just want to thank everybody. It's not anything ostentatious or whatever. We can't even have food and drink. It's just a chance, though, to and to use a theater, to use a venue like that. So I feel badly that for all of us of what we're going through, because I was just talking today with two different people on the job for head of enterprises, and all of them talk about quality of life issues and what theater and just all that, what it represents in culture and arts. Just today. So here I am on the call with you. So I can only tell you, I've always tried to be a patron of the arts. Look, with Manoa Valley Theater, when Mike Rosenberg was alive, and in fact, that's the last thing I think I did at Manoa Valley Theater. We did the roast for him that night up there. But Sharon Billingsley was on my staff for years, and we always try to do whatever we could to support the theater. So between there and Diamond Head, I mean, I've been very very supportive.
You're very active, actually. Yeah.
Well, I'm not just saying that for any self-aggrandizement. I'm really not. I'm just saying because it's just such a cool part of a community, and especially I love Manoa, and to have that up there as part of the fabric of the community is just such a really nice thing. I've always thought that way.
Now, for you, I mean, have you ever spent time on stage? I mean, we've seen you in front of a camera, but I mean, have you ever done anything like that when you were younger?
Hey, to look at this space. Okay. No. Plus that, when I was in the 8th grade, I was singing my class graduation song at Immaculate Conception in 1960, and Sister Veronita told me to lip sync. I didn't even know what lip sync was because I was throwing everybody off. Now, I don't have any. So ever since then, I wouldn't even sing in the showers in high school. No, I don't. I am somebody who's really loved, and I actually have envy for people who can do theater and perform and entertain. I don't have any of that ability. Not in that context.
Well, you support it in different ways. We appreciate that. Now, under the CARES Act, the undistributed funds for culture and the arts, I mean, they got to be returned in December. So just curious. I mean, you're going to basically, if you win, you'll be in November. So there hopefully will be maybe some time for you to distribute those funds. Do you have any idea what you want to do?
Here's my plan without sounding presumptuous. Now, again, we don't know who's on the call. And, look, it's not over till it's over. But, if we win, my first plan is to try to, the very next day, as mayor-elect, I'm going to try to insert myself on a number of issues because there are a lot of things going on right now. Again, I don't want to overstate my boundaries. I certainly want to be respectful, but the way the year is winding down with all the circumstances at play, whether it's about our own doings on rail, certainly the CARES Act monies and other kinds of things, given the circumstances we're in, I want to, I've got a lot of work to do from the standpoint of our transition team, and people are going to be looking at and interviewing and getting everything ready to really hit the ground running. But I want to the extent, try to get involved and see what I can possibly do under those circumstances. I understand, Devin, and I want to be really careful because I don't have anything official, but there's a possibility that they might extend the first quarter because we're not alone in the distribution of funds, even though it's been a bit of a primal scream from the community, and I've been critical as well of the city's ability to dispense with monies, given the 387 million we got. We're not alone, and other cities have had other issues, and so I'm hoping that there will be some extension. I'm also, honestly, have had several conversations already, more than several, I think, with Washington folks from the standpoint of we're going to need more money. We're going to need as much money as we could possibly get. Now, whether they do that on the big thing, from the standpoint of a HEROES Act or another whatever, I don't know. But any and all appropriations, I mean, my plan is to try to get out there as fast as possible because I think Hawaii has been an incredibly unique situation, not only right now suffering the worst unemployment in the country, but also given tourism and all our vulnerability. I mean, just who we are as an island. We're the only island state that I like to think we're an exception on that and try to get anything and everything. And then the other part of it would be obviously to go to work right away with our own state and see what monies we can get from there as well. So, I mean, I think the one thing that I'm convinced of right now, things are going to get worse before they get better. And secondly, people need money and they need grants. They don't need loans. We've got to come up with money that just creates relief. So, and that would be true of our arts too, right? To try to support that. I mean, we all want to fight towards a better day. We all want to fight to some sense of return of normalcy. Although I think this has been the change of a lifetime, and it's going to remain to be seen how long we feel we're in it and what it feels like after. And nobody can put a timetable on that. All I know is we're all still alive, we're all well, and money will help a lot, and we got to try to get our hands on that while we work through all the other issues. That's how I see it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks. Somebody's building something in your house, I think.
Yeah, here's what's happening. We're going to actually have some people over for dinner, and they just delivered the groceries, so I'm sorry.
Oh, they're bringing it, but no, it's okay. I was like, wow, people are bringing a lot of stuff into your house.
It's my life.
Yeah. It's okay. We're getting close to the end.
I'm Italian. I'm Italian. My wife is Chinese, which means when we have dinner, there's lots of food.
There you go. Of course.
Yeah.
Let me know what time I need to be over.
Well,
one of the other things we wanted to ask you was, with regards to the arts being vital, and this is kind of a softball question here because I know you how you feel about it, but as far as having a well-rounded education for kids, I mean, where do you feel the arts fits into that?
Well, I mean, my own little story aside, I raised 3 kids, and I could just say from a parenting standpoint, at the time when they were in their adolescence or whatever, trying to get all of them involved in something in school plays, and my daughter in ballet and all of that, and I always thought that stuff was like really good at rounding out. No, I just look, it's. Not everybody can be a super jock, and not everybody's whatever. And to me, it's just look, I worked for 43 years in media and broadcast television, right? So I have been blessed to work with some amazingly creative people and in all kinds of ways, but they were creative from the time they were little kids. And so I think anything that celebrates creativity and expression of spirit, and quite honestly, joy and all the other things that come along with even people who perform and that's one of the nice things about life, So I don't go to the theater enough here anymore, it seems, because I'm not so but I would go when there was things I would like to see. I live right across the street from the Blaisdell at the Admiral Thomas, and the museum's right next door. And but I love to go to theater. When I lived in New York, and I lived in San Francisco, and I lived in Los Angeles, one of the things that I really enjoyed about in those major cities was I could get to a lot of theater, and actually did. In fact, quite often, even now, although I haven't traveled in a year, but we would go to New York specifically to go to theater. You know.
Oh, do you have a favorite show? Speaking of that.
Well, there's music that I really like. I mean, this is I'm gonna sound so old school, right? But I love the music from Phantom and Les Mis both. I do. I can watch Les Mis every time and get very emotional every time. I don't know what it is, but I just do. And then depending on the performances, right? In fact, I think I even saw it.
You get all that emotion in the music.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I grew up with all that Italian. Yeah, that's right. It's there. Maybe okay. That's part of it. I mean, I even went to see when I was in New York last time. One night, that's why I saw the movie Pavarotti while I was in New York, because I wanted to see that.
Very nice.
And I've since watched it on HBO, I think, at least once. But look, I'm not just saying it. Look, I don't know what's coming out of this. I'm just telling you. Hopefully, I get elected mayor. I want to do everything I can to help you guys. I'm not saying it for any other reason than being really sincere here. To me, having community theater is a treasure. We need to support that. And in fact, from the standpoint of talking about the city of Honolulu itself and whatever and anything we can do. And I know Kirk from time to time was involved in that. But as I mentioned earlier today about talking about enterprises, I want us to be, a place where we make things happen, and so I'd like to look at the possibilities there. I think that's going to be part of our healing process going forward. I really do. I think that stuff like that can really help. And look, I don't know about you guys, but it's been a while since I've been to a movie. And I used to like to go to the movies, but there hasn't been a lot of movies made in my demographic anymore, at least things that I'm really interested in. But theater is timeless. It crosses everything. Even if you went and saw a group of kids perform, just kids, it's still, you know what I mean? It's really great entertainment. So that's where I'm at.
That's awesome. Rick, thank you so much for spending this time. Believe it or not, we're out of time.
No,
I was going to ask.
I want equal time. You gave AMEMIYA an hour.
you got an extra 2 minutes, man. No, no. Actually, I was gonna ask the question about what do you feel what are your qualifications for mayor and all that stuff, and you answered it all in the answer that you gave me for the other question I gave. So you took care of it. You could. Well, was there anything?
Let me leave you with this. I think the three top attributes for the next mayor to live up to. And I know this for a fact. It's going to be about leadership. It's going to be about trust. It's going to be about decisiveness. Okay. And I can tell you the political experience is way down the list on that. And I'm very excited. And I've said this throughout because we've already begun this process with a lot of confidence in my ability to recruit people. And I'm hoping that with my energy and my attitude and everything else, there's going to be some really good people who want to come on board in some specific positions. And it's really going to be a team approach. I've said it throughout my campaign. Any success I've had in any endeavor, even going back to my years as a college football coach, have always been team oriented. But certainly through all the 43 years in broadcast, in any setting I've been in, every turnaround I've been a part of, it's always been, about the team. So I'm asking for the responsibility. I'm asking to be held accountable, but I'm not going to do this alone. Okay. So I'll be looking for your resume, Devin, in the mail. I'll be looking for your resume.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Blangiardi joining us. Good luck to you, sir. We appreciate you being on.
If you haven't voted, please vote for one of us, but please vote. Okay? How's that? I humbly ask for that. Actually, I should ask vote for me, but that wouldn't be right. That's a little too
self-serving. I get it. It's okay.
All right. Anyway, thank you, Devin. Wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully, we're back in business soon. Okay?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Blangiardi. All right. Well, that was interesting, huh? That was pretty cool. And now to close things off in the only way that he knows how, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our executive director, Mr. Kip Wilborn. Kip. Oh, look, it's me.
Hey, well done,
sir. So you know what I realized? Normally, you don't get a chance to sort of, at the end, kind of wrap up what you heard. So, I mean, what did you think?
Well, I mean,
you're sitting backstage, you get to listen to both of them.
They're definitely two different personalities. I mean, they're very, very different in that sense. In fact, I was thinking, well, that's kind of a tale of two mayoral candidates.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think both of them are genuinely wanting to serve and genuinely wanting to help the community, and has seen that there's change needed. Yeah, So I, like Rick,
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to get out and vote. I mean, and if this helped kind of direct your vote, then great. We're
Yeah,
glad.
yeah. I really enjoyed it. You know, it was nice to talk to them individually and not have them feel like they needed to put up walls and be worried that we were going to hit them with a bunch of, you know, questions about roads and and lights and stuff like that. Because, you know, for us, I think obviously our focus is on performing arts. Our focus is on trying to get our people, trying to get people into the seats, trying to get our people up on stage and working again. And, you know, it sounds like they're both committed to trying to have that happen. And if nothing else, we will, whoever wins, we're going to bring them back on here and hold their feet to the fire.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, indeed. So,
Yeah.
did you want to talk about some of the stuff going on with MVT?
Yeah. Well, you know, I would start out, speaking of, you know, those things that'll get us back on stage, is if we can get out of tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Today was not a great day, though. We had 94 statewide, and we had 74 in Oahu. And I believe we have to stay under 50 to move to the next tier, or at least average under 50. So that's not a real good one. So everybody, man, take care. Come on, wear your mask. Be good.
Well,
you know?
and we got you know, Halloween tomorrow, so I'm getting a little worried.
Yeah, wear your face covering for COVID, not the other mask. If you dress, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Everybody like really be careful and not just, you know, pretend that because it's a holiday that it doesn't matter, because it really doesn't matter. And we appreciate everybody, you know, working at it. But if we don't get out of this, you know, we're not going to be back on stage. So please do that. So that aside, I want to remind everybody that on November 20th, we will be doing our Manoa Marquee this year virtually, so virtually yours. We're really excited about it. Amy Hanaiali is going to join us, and Star Kalahiki and the Lili'u project. And Kyoki Kerr and Jody Leong will be our MCs for that night. And we'll be coming to you live from our stage at the Manoa Valley Theater. So we're really excited about that. I hope you tune in. Go to our website, click on the Manoa Marquee link, and then we have a special website that's set aside just for the event. That'll take you there, and you can register there, and hopefully, hey, you feel led to maybe make a donation. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've been really working hard on this, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be at a super high quality level, and so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, how has that been? I mean, rehearsing for that thing and sort of getting everything together. I'm trying to imagine.
It's it's a lot of Zoom calls, or it's really clearly distanced, you know, face shields, you know, mask coverings, those kind of things. Yeah, we're doing everything we can to mitigate any possibility that somebody might get sick. In fact, on that note, we earned today the right to have the Healthy Verify certification, which is it's a national thing. That it has to do with the CDC guidelines, and they go to venues and to businesses, and they help work with them to make a new plan to open up and to make sure that they're exceeding the CDC guidelines. And so anyway, I got the notice today that we have qualified for that certification, and so we're doing everything we can to keep people safe in the seats and backstage. So we really look forward to having everybody back. You know,
so awesome. My dog's very excited about it too. Apparently,
I'm glad. Yeah,
in the background, like, hey, that's great. That's terrific. Well, I can't wait to see what MVT has in store for the virtual awards. It sounds like it's going to be fun, and I'm telling you, I'm going to bug you about you performing every single time we do this show. I'm just saying.
We'll get to it.
I think we can get a little something. You know what I mean?
All right, maybe.
All right, we'll have to try and hold him to that. All right. Hey, Kip, thank you so much. Once again, Radek, Andrew, Kristen, thank you so much for helping out behind the scenes, getting everything together, making everything work. Thank you once again to Keith AMEMIYA and Rick Blangiardi for taking the time to be with us today. And believe it or not, folks, that is the last time you'll see them in a public forum of any way, shape, or form until like election day.
Both of them. I knew Rick said that was it. Is that
yeah, and I'm pretty sure Keith too, because they pretty much go into seclusion until this thing actually happens. So yeah, it was very nice of them to volunteer to come on and talk story with us. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Kip, thank you for your leadership. Please don't forget to donate right down there. All right.
Yes, that's right.
And we will see you.
Yes. Or 988-6131.
See, he's got the number memorized already. Look at that. We look forward to seeing you next week on MVT Live number 33. Till then, aloha no, ahui ho.